a safe and comfortable journey through Entebbe International Airport, and obviously the whole pilgrimage, so that they are very, very, very well. They received wherever they are, and they obviously achieve what the objective for what they go to do in the pilgrimage. There is always a lot to talk about the aviation industry, and I'm always happy, and my colleagues, to really bring you an update on every aviation thing. You know very well, for some years now, we've been trying to revamp certain aviation facilities, depending on the money we continue to collect. And this money, of course, is internally generated, as I keep telling you. We don't get money from anywhere else. We generate what we put back. And the aviation industry is such that every time our requirement, compliance requirements in safety and security are always a moving target. You complete this in terms of compliance with technology, with safety, but a new technology has come in place. And aviation facilities are global in nature. The standards are global. So there is no such a thing as a local standard for an aviation standard. Global standards are determined globally. So what you find in Amsterdam or Brussels or Dubai is in the same measure what is expected in Entebbe. Because passengers are required to be handled in the same way. So every day when you go to Entebbe or any aviation facilities, you will find improvements. You will be redirected to move in a different direction. You will be told that this place is under renovation. And that is the nature of aviation all over the world. But this is what you see here in the airport. But in the airspace, regarding facilitation of air navigation systems, there is every effort to make it seamless, safe, but also sustainable. So it is important that you note that, because aviation is not about only airlines and airports. It is also about other service provisions, especially air traffic control provisions, information, and the rest. But most importantly, we must comply with international standards. And the structure of compliance in the recent years have been really put a bar high. As you remember, we are now over 70% compliance and safety by world standards, not just the local standards. We are over 80% compliance and security, and we don't want to have lapses. And these are day-to-day engagements, and actually, we look at it every other day. So they are our day-to-day concerns. Regarding upcountry facilities, because we can't just simply settle for Entebbe without looking at upcountry, we are trying to revamp several upcountry facilities. Notably, you know very well, we've been working on Kabarega International Airport, essentially for gas, for oil and gas industry. But as you know, in recent times, it has been chosen as one of, Hoima has been chosen as one of the venues for AFCOM. That again puts a lot of pressure on us to make sure we make it ready. And we will be ready for, initially for AFCOM now, but also for oil and gas industry. Arua International Airport, which we are beginning to work on. That will be a third international airport, which we are going to start on. A lot of work has been done, but we have now secured funding that are going to make it an international airport for regional flights, mainly, essentially, first for regional flight, but even for global flights. Other airports are at different stages of consideration, like Kasese. We are concluding a feasibility study for Kasese, and we'll soon work on it to upgrade it. We completed runway upgrade and taxi and apron upgrade for Chisoro. We are now putting up a big terminal building. You should go there and see the preliminary works that have started at Chisoro Airport. And many others that we continue to maintain. There is even work going on in Pakuba. We have put a new terminal building. Pakuba is in Maxwell Falls National Park. And many others that we are putting under consideration for upgrades. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing a lot in aviation industry. And you can also interact with my colleagues to give you more details about what we are trying to do amidst tight budgetary provisions. But we think we should really make a statement, starting with Entebbe, and make it a truly international airport with modern facilities that you will continue, and I promise this, that you will continue to see improving over the years. And please continue to go there, take pictures and see. Entebbe has changed. The face of Entebbe has really changed. And we want to promise that we continue to change it as we move on. Of course, as I keep saying, using our mega resources, but productively and in a frugal way. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to give you time to probably ask questions as you need. Our guide will tell us, but allow me to end here this presentation. Did at our end. There are many the air transport chain is very long, even beyond what many people expect. Because this effect must be felt, for instance, in the hospitality industry, in the tourism industry, in the food industry, and so on and so forth. So it is a little bit much deeper than what you see in the aviation industry. Because for us, we are mainly facilitators. While passenger traffic at Entebbe International Airport has been steadily rising over the recent years, the February and March disruptions have caused some recorded declines compared to the same period last year. For instance, international arrivals have declined by almost 8%. And international departures have also declined by 8.5%. But transit passengers, no, rather, passenger traffic recorded a strong growth of 25%, and cargo also declined by 28%, almost 30%, and imports, I mean air transport, those imports that we handle in aviation, by 9%. And despite the decline in passenger and cargo traffic, we also realized increase in aircraft movements by almost 8%, and aircraft movements, we mean those aircraft that move in our airspace, in our flight information region, but they don't land here. But of course, they are coming here in big numbers, means that we are also an island of aviation security in the region. There is always a positive in all these events that take place here and there. And this impact was most pronounced in March, and I have provided a detailed summary of this performance that will be available in a documented form and will be circulated to you. The only thing I want to request is that you report properly. And these figures really should, because the decline is not really alarming, and we think we will be improving as the situation continues. And these are always in our risk plans. These turbulences are always, we always cater for them in our risk plans that we usually put across. In April, this very April last month, we recorded 94,000 passengers arriving and 94,810 departing passengers, which is a total of 189,130 international passengers, an average of 6,304 per day. This is obviously a slight increase of 4,900 more than was recorded in the same month. Even with that decline, we are still actually moving up the figures. Cargo has drastically declined. It looks like Middle East is the center of cargo, and those figures, you will be seeing them, but specifically recorded 3,389 metric tons of exports and 1,434 metric tons of imports. A total of 4,823 metric tons of cargo in April, compared to 6,000 metric tons recorded in April 2025, just the same period last year, which is a deficit of about 1,200 metric tons. Regarding Hijab pilgrimage operators, Hijab pilgrims operators will be departing for Mecca through Entebbe International Airport from today, May 8th, until May 20th. As is the practice, during this period, significantly higher passenger volumes and accompanying persons are expected at the airport. Remember, 12th, the day of the swearing in, is also part of this Hijab pilgrimage operators when they will be moving. So, but we are ready to get to handle them. So we strongly advise all departing passengers traveling during this period to plan ahead and allow additional time for check-in and other airport processes to avoid inconveniences or risk of missing flights during that time. So in order to maintain orderly traffic flow within the airport, additional accompanying vehicles may be redirected where necessary, and we appreciate the public's understanding about this small inconvenience as the case may be. The first group of pilgrims departing today will travel aboard Flynas with subsequent departure on Emirates Arabia, Ethiopian Airlines, and Fly Dubai. There are also charter flights carrying approximately 385 and 250 passengers which are planned on 18th and May 20th, respectively. And we expect these pilgrims to return by May 31st and June 10th. The airport staff are already briefed to utilize the car parking near the control tower so they don't mix with this, so that we increase the space for the likely increase in passenger accompanying persons. Usually there is always a lot of excitement on these pilgrims, and we are always happy to really handle them. So they remain with the excitement and happiness as they move to the Holy Land, and as they come back. There is the press needs to be interested to go there and see what happens. A lot of excitement. And it is not our duty to reduce excitement. We want actually to make sure that they continue with their excitement. Religious excitement is a good thing. So it is always interesting. So I want to encourage you to be there and see probably what you have not seen before. So we are happy to always associate ourselves with the excitement of this group of people. And with that, we wish to, following temporary closure of airspace in the Middle East, which, as you know, began on February 28th, 2026. Just a little bit of explanation. Middle East has, over the years, positioned itself as a big aviation industry player, both as a destination, but also as an origin of airlines. And some of the Middle East carriers are very big carriers in the world. So in our usual language, we say all roads lead to some places. In fact, many flights were leading to the Middle East. They still do, but in a disrupted way. So several airlines operating Middle East routes from Entebbe, including Emirates, Fly Dubai, Air Arabia, Qatar, and Uganda Airlines temporarily suspended flights before resuming operations in phases. They have resumed many of them, but they are not, of course, back to normal levels, not yet. These airlines continue to closely monitor the situation and adjust their schedules accordingly. Disruptions have had considerable impact on passenger and cargo traffic through Entebbe, contributing increased ticket costs, but also reduced revenue across sectors. Again, just to remind Ugandans that aviation industry is a facilitator of business and travel. So the disruption is not just immediately with the aviation industry. It's also a disruption in the economics of any country. And Uganda is just one of them. It's not just Uganda, but especially from heads of delegations and other bringing in people. You also know that as a routine, we have renovations works continuing. Furnishings and branding have been undertaken in several areas, select areas, notably the VVIP's facility, which is actually the primary reception area for heads of states and governments and other high-level delegations. Just to mention that the characteristics of airports and other aviation facilities, you don't disrupt traffic because you are having such an event. Because we sign agreements and other things to facilitate traffic, both landings and overflights. So it is up to us to work extra hard to make sure that both take place. So, in other words, preparations take into account additional workload and additional facilitation, but with seamless operations for day-to-day operations of any airport and any other facility that facilitates travel, air travel rather, yes. Stakeholder coordination, regarding stakeholder coordination, UCA continues to coordinate all airport stakeholders, including airlines, and there are many, ground handlers, both for passengers and cargo, fuel operators, security of all agencies in accordance with their mandates, customs, immigration, and any other airport service that you would expect on an airport and a border point at that. All these have been fully briefed, especially airlines, on operational expectations. And aviation fuel suppliers have been asked and tasked as well to ensure that adequate stocks of fuel to meet increased demand so that there is no disruption or any risk of scarcity is realized. So everybody is alert on this event. You know, as we do that, there are some developments in the aviation industry, particularly in the Middle East, that have caused airspace disruptions, and we've been containing those. And there is no reason why we don't continue to contain them, at least on our part of the world, to ensure that we remain operational even with those disruptions. I know as a country we also need to talk about other broader industrial developments beyond the preparation for the swearing-in ceremony. I've just indicated that this was significantly disrupted, aviation has been significantly disrupted. On the state of Uganda aviation industry, together with key operational developments and the progress on preparing for key national events. Among them, the one that is immediate facilitation of the presidential swearing-in ceremony. You are also aware that Uganda is preparing for that swearing-in ceremony next week, specifically on 12th, and a number of high-level guests, high profile, high level, are expected into the country. You also know that one of our facilities, Entebbe International Airport, is the first point of entry in the country, especially for international visitors. And therefore, because of that position, it will play a very, very key facilitation and a central role in the arrival and departure of the dignitaries that will be coming to attend that ceremony, together with other events, obviously. Therefore, we at UCA are pleased to report that the airport is fully prepared, and UCA has been working in close coordination with all relevant governments departments and agencies and other stakeholders to ensure smooth, seamless, and dignified facilitation expected of a country like Uganda. In that way, UCA, because of that mandate, is a member of the National Organization Committee, and we chair the airports subcommittee. And specifically, our preparedness is anchored on three key pillars. Many pillars, but three key pillars. One, smooth facilitation of arrival and departures. We have already presented a comprehensive operational plan, which we developed and validated through dry runs conducted on April 24th, the first one, and recently May 4th. That is 2026, obviously. And the plan provides detailed protocols for handling the different categories of delegates expected. Just to mention to you that the way you handle a head of state is not the way you handle other delegations. I think you know that. So you have to, in the operational plan, you have to cater for that. Two, airport infrastructure. All necessary infrastructure is in place, as you all know. This is not the first event that we have handled, including adequate parking for additional expected aircrafts. But as you know, even if we are doing this, we continue with our routine operations. That is scheduled airlines, both cargo and passengers. We will continue to run smoothly. But as you know, we expect more aircrafts